DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, GGBet, and LG Ultra Gear.
Launched in 2012, the DreamHack Open was DreamHack's premier esports circuit prior to the DreamHack Masters, featuring live LAN tour stops across the world. And since 2015, the official title featured in the DreamHack Open circuit has been Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the one true version of Counter-Strike that rules them all, the best, and the only one in which we'll be watching today. My name is Trey Saranthus. We're ready to get our second semifinal, but not before you hear us talk just a little bit here on the analyst desk, and I'm going to be doing that with the help of my friends here in both Bach and Dust Barrett. And I say friends in the loosest terms.
I was just going to say, I figured it was more of like an acquaintance thing.
Acquaintance, colleagues, we're all here in this together for what it's worth, but we just had a banger of a matchup there, so it's going to be a little bit hard to top that Luminosity Ghost game.
I mean, that was a ridiculously good game, but really, if you wipe away the first two maps, the last map was what really everyone remembers, and even we did that on the desk. It was like, let's just breeze through those first two, because those were okay, but that last map was such a good last map, and it's a shame. I kind of feel like that would have been an amazing grand final because of the way that last map panned out.
Well, here is the playoff bracket, in case you have no idea what in the hell is going on around here. Well, let's tell you, Luminosity 2-1's Ghost, and that one was going to be a bittersweet pill for Ghost to follow, or to swallow, all of that, right?
Both. Yeah.
Anyway, Luminosity nets themselves a grand final appearance, the first one in a while, according to my analysts, and now we're going to see who out of compLexity and Vitality, the French side, see how the two of those, who's going to be going on in the grand finals to join them.
It should be an interesting series, because actually looking back, compLexity's best of three results have been mixed, to say the least, and they haven't really played that many.
Yeah, really only the Americas Minor was like the only one that they really seemed to, get their way with the best of three. So yeah, coming into this, I feel like they're hungry to find some more success.
Well, I think when we go about hunger, when we go to talk about having their way with things, I'm gonna let Bach have his way with the 3 reasons why, brought to you by Hacks GG. Do it, Bach.
All right, so this is 3 reasons why I just got pegged by Stunna with a piece
that didn't
of
really
paper.
work.
There you go. You got it. 3 reasons why compLexity might struggle against Vitality. Number 1, everyone on Vitality can make plays. So every single one of these players can show up at any given point in time. Yes, you could make that argument that some of the guys on compLexity have been stepping their game up, but at the same point in time, I do feel like, in general, name brand recognition for the guys on Vitality is there for a reason. They've got the experience, and they're capable of making those big plays. Number 2, and it's what we just mentioned, best of threes have not always gone compLexity's way. Looking back all the way to the Face It Major, they've played, I think, 6 best of threes. 2 of those against teams that were kind of smaller on scale, like Bravado and a team called LMFAO. So I can't really count those results the same as I would again. Yeah.
The same group that put out that banging album a few years ago?
I work out.
Party rocking in the house.
Maybe it's the same ones. Maybe they play Counter-Strike. I don't know. And then number 3, Vitality has looked better every single game. As we've watched them play, they keep improving throughout every match. They're using their time wisely to practice, to research their opponents. So I don't necessarily think Vitality is going to take it, but I think this is going to be a little bit harder for compLexity than maybe some people think.
Well, those are 3 reasons brought to you by Bach and Hacks GG, the official apparel sponsor of the DreamHack Open Circuit. And well, without any further ado, it comes to me in great honor to bring you this map, veto. This is a best of 3, and you don't want to miss where this one lands. There's going to be some serious implications to how this veto unfolds.
Yeah, I think the problem is like both these teams' map pools are not really that great. I mean, for one, Vitality's is an unknown value. The sample size is just way too small. Don't really know what to expect from them. Meanwhile, it seems a lot like compLexity are really only able to play Cash Inferno and Mirage. It feels like any other time you get them off of something.
Maybe Nuke?
Besides those 3s. Yeah, I mean, Nuke is maybe like a pocket pick, but they're 1-6 on LAN on Nuke. So like they are comfortable online on Nuke. I mean, they have a really good record online on Nuke, but offline it hasn't treated them so well. Same could be said for a map like Train, something they can play well within the region, not in the offline environment. So I feel like they would like to steer it towards maps like Cash Inferno and Mirage, if I had to guess. Whereas I think they kind of want to stay away from a map like Overpass, obviously, because they never play that map. And then for Vitality, I would imagine they stay away from Train. That's the one map they have not played an official match on yet. So I'd imagine they would want to kind of stick away from that. Especially maybe they'll just respect the fact that, hey, compLexity can at least play it online really well, so maybe we should just avoid it. So that's kind of where I'm thinking the bans are going to go at least.
I think this could be Overpass or Train. That could be the first 2 bans. But I could see compLexity banning banning Nuke just because Vitality looked good on Nuke the other day when they played it, and I would be a little bit scared to play on Nuke just because of their record, but it's actually going to be Mirage that comes out. So I wonder if compLexity is going to punish them and go for a Train pick. The thing is, I don't think compLexity's really had that great of a result on Train either. They've only played it like one time in the last couple months. So this is kind of like one of those, haha, like we're not going to ban the map and maybe expect
I think
this
that's
to,
a respect ban from Vitality on Mirage there. Matt, they've also not really been that well poised on online. I think now for compLexity, do you want to go with personal comfort like a Cash or an Inferno? I mean, you would kind of be picking a little bit into Vitality's hands. It's probably their best two maps, at least from the online play that we've seen, and we did see them, you know, be able to win Cash against Fraxters yesterday, and they played a close game against Ghost, so I'm not really sure what compLexity's thinking here.
It should be Inferno and maybe Nuke. No, it's a Train and Dust 2. So there's the Train, like the haha, we're going to try and pick Train against you. But again, like compLexity's run on Train hasn't been all that good. I'm actually surprised that Vitality didn't feel comfortable picking Nuke. They go towards a Dust 2, but I can also see why they'd want to. They have that firepower and they have that strong op presence.
And I mean, look, Dust 2 is the one map online that compLexity actually has a negative win rate on, and also their land play on Dust 2 is almost just as weak as their Nukes has been. So I think Vitality may have been able to sneak in a little bit of an advantage there with the Dust 2 pick, and like you said, Train's a nice little sneaky one. And then Nuke, will come down to the decider.
I don't know, looking at that map pool, that's a little concerning if you're compLexity.
Yeah, I'm surprised compLexity allowed Nuke through just because of how rough it has been offline for them. Maybe just kind of respecting that Vitality can play Inferno. Though, I mean, major time period Inferno was their map, man. Like, that's how they were making moves, so I'm surprised they wouldn't stick to a personal comfort a little bit there.
Well, we got a little bit more comforting news coming your way, and in fact, something the most informative way possible that we could bring you this. In fact, we did sit down with the teams that are going to be playing here. It's going to be both the compLexity and Vitality. And we got a chance to hear what they had to say coming into today's semifinal. Let's check it out.
Envy is a team that we knew that we were pretty comfortable playing, especially on Cash. Cash is a comfort map for us for sure. We actually had some online results that we lost on Cash to them recently, so it's nice to kind of revenge them back a little bit. We're feeling pretty comfortable coming into this tournament. The first two games have gone pretty smoothly. So yeah, I'm excited to get on that semi-final stage in the best of threes and show everyone what we got.
From taking damage at the smoke, regardless, they push in, they completely miss Banish Ball by Blue Tarp, though. Thankfully, he's only able to get one kill. The damage is done, is now Yay! Picks up a quad kill to end the half.
1, 2, 3.
I think when we walked into the DreamHack Atlanta, we felt a little bit of pressure during the first game, and we had a big talk once we lost against Ghost Gaming. And yeah, suddenly we started coming more, we started headshotting more, and we started to be like proactive in the game.
You can still go for force fire to lose this, but Apex coming in to clean. There's no immediate refrag. That means that Apex is going to get the chance. He's going to get the spray correction as well onto Dragonfly.
I think there are multiple things that I want to prove at this event. The first one is being able to go to the first event and win it. The second one will be a bit like for myself because I won the last edition of DreamHack Atlanta last year. And finally, I want to show that Vitality is going to be a strong team in the future. And what better way to do it than win your first event?
I feel like we are one of the favorites for the tournament, so like we're coming in very confident. We know that we can win it. So yeah, I feel like this is one of the first ones where we'd really be disappointed if we're not taking the trophy home with us.
Vitality looking to make a statement here with this new lineup, and even more so with ZywOo, the youngster who has coming to fruition, coming to prominence underneath the veterancy that is the Vitality lineup under RPK, ABK, Happy, and of course Apex. Now, listening to what he had to say, there's a couple of points that we could I guess, hone in on? Where do we start, Dust?
I think we have to start with the fact that, like Happy said, coming into the tournament, there were some struggles with they feel confident that they can be a better team. I mean, they've been playing a bunch of best-of-ones online. They've been getting upset in all these open qualifiers and the winter qualifiers, but throughout this tournament, they have looked progressively better. To be fair, they played a Fragsters using a stand-in and Rogue, who had just picked up MSL, so there are some asterisks next to those wins that they were able to get on their way here. They still haven't had a super impressive victory. I think the other big problem with me for Vitality that I've seen throughout this tournament, and something that even MBK has kind of been open about, is the fact that their T-sides have really not looked that good. They try to play a little bit of a looser style. They seem to be indecisive in the mid-round. Like, once they get some initial map control or they lose a player, it seems like they really pause and kind of freeze up until, it's almost too late to run and execute that you really want to do. It also does seem like there's some weird maps where I feel like there's like role conflicts, like Apex lurking outside B on overpass. That's really weird, I don't think that's going to get played in this series, though, so maybe not something to worry about. But you are right, though. ZywOo, I think, has so far lived up to the hype throughout this tournament.
Yep.
He's definitely been putting up fantastic numbers throughout, averaging great ADR and good kills across the board. So they definitely have that going for them. And even MBK's been pretty damn consistent all event long.
Yeah, it's been an interesting road watching ZywOo basically lift off here, this being his first international event. And, well, he's also trying to make a statement. You can imagine from a youngster perspective what he's trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, I think the biggest concern right now, if you're looking at Vitality, is not that on an individual basis they're weak. It's that we just really haven't seen them tested. Like, it's something you had mentioned. They played against Fragsters with a stand-in. They play against Rogue with MSL as a new in-game leader. And even though Rogue looked promising, obviously they haven't had enough time to really, like, iron out the wrinkles. So I don't really know what to expect. This is like their first true test, is playing against a team who's been somewhat consistent, even if that consistency hasn't put them on like a really big stage in a while. Like, yes, they did great at the major, but then they didn't really do much beyond that. Since then, it's been a series of mediocre results, even so much so that maybe there could be a change coming, because they kind of peaked at the major and haven't done anything since.
Yeah, and the other big thing with Vitality is train. That's like a big mystery factor. They haven't played it yet. That's the one that they haven't played yet officially, but I've heard they've practiced it a ton, so we'll see.
Well, on the other side of this boxing ring, we do have compLexity, Shazam, Def, Stanislaw, Ye, and Android. Now, interesting tidbit. After that win there from Luminosity, Yell came over here, and him and I spoke for a minute. He went on to tell me that in practice, compLexity destroys them. So, it will be interesting to see that translating here now that the pressure's being turned up.
Yeah, the pressure is turned up, I think, for compLexity. I mean, they started out to really struggle early this year. They weren't doing well at some of the original DreamHack Open stops, like at Atlanta and Summer earlier in the year. Online, they kind of hung in the middle of the pack, but eventually were never able to make the playoffs. There was the major run, though, that really got everyone behind this team. They played so well throughout the Americas Minor and throughout the major to get top 8, but then immediately afterwards, they go out 0-3 at Starladder Season 6. They had a little bit of a pick-me-up at CS Summit, getting top 4, but, some of the big problems they're facing right now is I felt like Deft and Ye really kind of fell off after the major individually. They have swapped some roles around. Seems like Deft's been kind of moved away from being a pure entry fragger like he was in the major and the minor, and kind of into more playing peripheral roles at times, depending on the map. He actually has been performing a lot better at this event, which is nice. But I think the key is that Stanislaw has been on fire, man. He's been playing so well throughout this event, and really probably been one of compLexity's best fraggers throughout the last few months. Been a good leader for them as well, something that compLexity didn't really have for several years. Now they finally have a true in-game leader, and even Ye's picked it up a little bit, though I think we still need to see a little bit more out of him in this series.
I think that's something we've seen from both the North American teams that made it to playoffs. Between Ghost and compLexity, the in-game leader actually stepping up statistically. Stan has made himself a big player in multiple maps, like really picking up crucial plays, maybe not necessarily totals. Like, you might look at the numbers, you might go, oh yeah, they were good, but they weren't fantastic. But if you look at the impact of the kills he was getting, they're actually through the roof. And there's the comparison there between Stanislaw and NBK. Obviously, NBK has a little bit higher numbers because they had a harder grind to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think both players have played well individually. I think they also sometimes play similar roles. Like, Stanislaw's actually been a lot more active nowadays. He's always been kind of a flexible rifle, even going back to Optic, but now because Deft's kind of taken a sidestep in some areas, Stanislaw has to come to the forefront to help do some openings, and he's played really well. NBK's been playing really well, but I think Stanislaw, the key difference in this head-to-head, I think he's the better tactician.
Well, here's what you can do at home to get involved. I know that you're just sitting there and you're saying, stop talking, guys. Stop getting in there and just talking in our heads right now.
Press the start button on the match.
Yeah, that's basically what they're expecting. Well, you can get involved in chat using the LG Ultra Gear Vote. That's right, the gaming monitor provided by LG. Use !COL or !V to cast your votes. That's because when victory hinges on your immediate reaction to what's on the screen, the Ultra Gear high-speed refresh rate up to 240 Hz ensures that you can deal instantly in any scenario. Just like these odds being dealt out, guys. Before I get your predictions, talk to me about the odds.
I think the odds make sense given the maps. I think that's probably, the map pool is really a little bit perplexing. But I think that I can also see people going with Vitality just because of the names.
How about what you guys are going to go with? I think it's time that we kick off this matchup. I think it's time that we kind of just get out of here and get out of your face. And I'm going to start with you, Dust. Who exactly do you have in this one, prediction-wise?
Come back to me.
I don't think that's possible.
Damn.
So
right.
rock the boat.
I think I just got to go full America here. I'll go with complexity.
Yeah,
reluctantly, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. If the map pool came out a little bit differently, it'd be
I think it's because of Train. Like, since I haven't seen Bots, I got to go with like the devil that I know, which is complexity. Train's been a little bit rough, but at least they play it. So I'll go with them on that, and maybe they'll get the series because of it.
I'm going to go with complexity as well. I think that it's a hard prediction. I'm going to go with complexity just because
this is
USA.
the hardest one I think I'll turn.
Rock, Flag, and Eagle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Vitality can only. Actually, no. Excuse me. Complexity can only beat themselves in this scenario, right? Because they should have the upper hand. They should have the preparation. They should have everything needed. So I'm going to have to side with Complexity just because, I'm really feeling it. Shout out Jason Lake and crew over there. Y'all are doing big things down in Texas. And hopefully one day I'll get to visit. Now, before we do all that, I feel like I should probably tell you about our friends over at Astro. In fact, you can join the Astro family right now by going to the link on your screen and winning yourself an Astro A40 TR headset. Excuse me, not Tri. I'm reading. I'm from Alabama. You got to give me a break here. Either way, go ahead and get in there and get in that giveaway. That's the only way you're going to get one free. Everybody likes free stuff. Do not ever say that again on my broadcast. God bless.
We're both from Bama. Neither one of us are actually Bama fans.
Yeah, this is disgusting. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring in these commentators. Got a best of 3 to go for. And it's going to be Blue and Risk yet again, boys. Get us into this map.
All right, thank you very much, Stunna. And we are going to be bringing you the second semifinal here, our second matchup of the day. It should be quite an exciting one. As we saw with the analysts, it's definitely leaning towards complexity, but there's quite a few ways, in my opinion, that this could go Vitality's way, too.
Yeah, so if you were on the prediction game as well, what would you go for here?
Right now, personally, I'm feeling Vitality. I don't want to explain my reasoning because it's pretty crap, I'll be honest. But
I'm with you.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Vitality.
But I feel like Vitality actually, if I wanted to, we saw the betting odds there. If I was a gambling man, I would actually go for the gambit play and just say a 2-0 Vitality, which is a very, very strange thing to say, but hear me out. Dust 2 is actually one of their better maps. It's also one of the maps that suits their playstyle really well. NBK and Sai with the double up setup on the CT side works really nicely. And then there's the Train pick. We're going to talk about the Train pick when that comes. I'm going to explain all the reasoning behind it. There's plenty of information to go around, but for now, we're going to start off with Dust 2. This is Vitality's map choice. Complexity, they need to bring a statement to the table now.
Yeah, and talking a little bit more about the map, which I think we'll do a little bit later, actually, is take a look at this. Complexity are going to start things off with a bang. A quick push into the B-bomb site to take control. Happy yet to engage. He finds the Train. A second kill on top of that. Apex will start contributing from the main doorway, too. And Complexity will now go down to just 2 players. Then Shazam is keeping himself alive. Normally a beast in pistol rounds, but this time we'll only see 1 pickup from him. It's left to Ye in the 1 versus 3. Starts it off well, but cannot handle the last 2 players of Vitality who push simultaneously to take back the B site and close out the round.
Very nice CT hold there. Shazam tried his best, swung around with the Glock and got a couple of kills, but not enough in the end. And this position here from Happy. Actually, something to note as well is that Happy in general in this tournament, stats-wise, has been doing really, really well. And I think it's also some of the way that they are disposing the roles, because usually back in the teams that Happy has led before, being the in-game leader, being the guy who has to set everything up, you kind of also have to take some of the positions that you don't really want to play, but you have to play because someone has to cover them. In this setup, he's not the in-game leader, he's not the support player either, so he has this kind of free-flowing role. And finally, after what, like 3 years, he can show the potential that he actually has as a Counter-Strike player after getting so many like negative comments over the years about his individual level. And we've seen that so far in this tournament. Yes, they're not playing against like top 5 teams in the world, but it's a great start for him coming back into that role.
Considering like where their team is currently at, I think they're up against good competition.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So it's still comparable stats. It's definitely still stats you can take as legitimate for me anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we've got Vitality still taking things nice and slow on defense. They're not over pushing. And for Complexity, unfortunately, they're struggling to find any way they can make something happen in this round due to the very low investment from them, of course. Zywoo, though, maybe getting a little bit impatient himself, has started to push forward on Cat, but he will want to back away from that. There's a big stack of players from Complexity sitting just around that corner, and he does not want to run into them.
Happy with the AWK. Ready and waiting. Good damage up to the first one. Second one will come. and follow. Third one in the reaches. Nicely done against an eco here. And this Arc, very, very nice in anti-ecos. Also in general against full buys. Can go toe-to-toe with an AK, and that's why we see so many players, and it's actually usually the players who are not the best straight up with the AK-47 and aim dual weapons like that. They actually tend to pick up the AUG on the CT side and tend to do really well when they learn the spray pattern or the 2, 3, 4 bullet control. And it can be very effective. Bonus round for the CT side.
Start off with compLexity kind of just booming directly out towards long. No resistance with this at all from the Vitality side. They're playing entirely on the A side and primarily on Catwalk. They've got 3 guys either on site or on Cat ready to defend against the push. So compLexity will start off with their staging ground being taken pretty much for free.
NBK's cleared the entire B side together with his teammate. That's happy. So now they're calling this information. Okay, we see nothing B. We haven't heard anything mid. You can see, I think that's Saiwu stepping back and forth onto short, seeing they can find anything, and then now going to meet in the bottom of team mid. But the terrorists are coming the other way, but good flashbang on everyone apart from Stan, who's ready for it. Now they're going to go back, potentially go towards long. 1 smoke, 1 Molotov remaining. That means that if they want to cross, there's going to be a gap. If they want to do the smoke, or if they want to do the Molotov on car, they have no Molotov for short, no Molotov for the post plan. And they want to do the one towards car. That means that RPK might have a chance. He has utility of his own as well.
Start running low on time here, so he needs that execute from compLexity. Here it comes. They'll work their way up the ramp. RPK trying to delay the contact for as long as possible, and there's reason behind that. Rips them apart when he finally does meet the competition, and Apex will be assisting from the back lanes. He does eventually go down. The RPK, that is, but still Apex takes on the mantle, leaving only Shazam in this fight now. A 1v2 beset against him. It's not impossible. With time being as low as it is, Vitality are just choosing to play this smart and play for that time right now. And trying to force him to make the mistake instead.
Just waiting for the plan, then the flashbang will come in when the bomb goes down. Actually, they're just going to go straight for the peaks. What? Shazam.
Time. Needs to get this kill now. Finds the angle, but the shot misses, and now time will run out. Even worse, he goes down to NBK after it expires.
That no-scope, though.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That was deadly. Let's see that. Actually, first we're going to see RPK's nice spray through the smoke, really utilizing the smoke to its full potential there. And Vitality 3-0. Pistols coming in for compLexity. And 1 UMP 45 still on the side of Vitality being brought through all these rounds. The same with the AUG on Happy. So money to spare on NBK. Actually, I think the AUG has been rebought, but NBK, due to the fact that he's staying on the UMP, has extra cash to go. Shazam did go down to 200, but that's of course due to that unfortunate death timing in the last round. So he only has the P250 to work with, while the rest of his team will have pistols here, but full buy next round. Shazam will not be in that round.
compLexity focusing on a slow style of play here. Unfortunately, it just gives away Ye at the start of this round with him slow walking out for mid. The rest of the team is not going to have much of a hope of being able to accomplish anything here, although Shazam sneaks off a nice kill from the B tunnel, so credit where credit is due. But, oh, there we go. A second one picked up from him as well here. He's making impact, and he's just got a measly little P250.
That P250 is worth its weight in gold right now.
He's got a big gun now, but he's going to peek right into Saiwu, so he'll need a quick end with that gun. And we'll see the 4th round put up onto the board for Vitality.
27% win rate over 11 maps. That's compLexity's stats on Dust 2. Vitality on 75%, but then again, they've only played 4. So 3 out of the 4 possible, they've won. They also are a way newer team than the compLexity guys, but still, I understand it's a great first pick for Vitality into this Dust 2. And it could ensure them a 1-0 lead in this series.
It's going to be a little bit faster this time from compLexity. Already priming themselves to be able to take early cat control. I don't know if they're going to outright push it to the site or just use this to take the elbow side. Looks like it's more to take the elbow here. Saiwu is going to recommit. He's got the angle too, but as you can see, it's just a bit of a pixel. Bit of a headshot angle is all he really has to work with. He peeks this. The shot's very difficult. He's gone 0 for 2 this time.
Stanislaw Def ready towards short. Utility in hand. Android just holding for the lurk push. Might be able to grab a couple of kills here. First one basically for free, but he doesn't get the kill. He only gets the damage, but there's the kill on the other person. And now this leaves mid open. Def also catching one off guard. That's very nicely done so far by compLexity, excuse me. And Sai was the only one who could kind of do anything to hurt them back. Perfect execution. Perfect timing by compLexity.
Clinical execution, you could say, here from compLexity. Vitality didn't even know it hit them. Ripped to shreds the second that aggression came in from Cole, and these last two, ZywOo and RPK, don't have a hope in the world of finding any impact, so they're going to have to back away and just wait out this bomb timer. So they're going to have to save for this one. compLexity is going to get their first round on the board on the 5th here. So a good start for them now. Only letting Vitality get away with 4 off the pistol before they themselves claim their first round. The big question, of course, that's going to come into mind now is it consistency or is this just a one-off?
Yeah.
Are Vitality going to find the immediate counter going into the next round?
Money-wise, Vitality are fine. They can rebuy into this next one. Sai with the AWP was the only real worry. If he died off, then they wouldn't be able to get an AWP into the next round, but he survives. So no problem there. Full utility, 4 M4s and 1 AWP. It's going to be the setup for Vitality going into this next one. And now compLexity, they're going to try something out of the same standard. Maybe do the same CT drop smokes, but fake it and do a B split. That could be a play. Or maybe just go for the drop smokes and then completely commit to A side after taking long early. They're definitely taking long early, that's for sure. Thanks to a halfway smoke. The CT's now forced into another area. And they're playing in a group right now on the A side. 3 players so close together.
Shazam seems to want to test the waters on this A site, though. And that could prove to be a fatal mistake considering the setup there. There's going to be an AWP trained on his immediate peeking angle. There's 2 more players from the CT side available on Cat to support him if he does end up pushing in. But nothing's going to be seen, so Shazam probably giving out the call right there at the site. As far as he can see anyway, is clear, but that could prove to be a massive red herring, considering that there is quite a large presence on the actual site, too. It's not even like there's just presence in CT that they'd have to deal with. This is, for the most part, right up on top.
And they're going to throw cross smokes, but that doesn't really matter when there's 3 players on the side, 2 of them on short, 1 of them on the bomb side itself.
Another one in CT.
It's only going to cut off 1 of the players. The rest are still here. To give them a false sense of security. ZywOo's ready.
ZywOo primed in position. Solid first shot from him. The immediate smoke to counter the molly as well to keep him in good position to play with more of this site, but he'll still end up getting immediately traded out by Ye. He'll chain together a second kill as well by knocking out Apex. Happy close up is able to trade onto Def, but that's after he finds a frag on RPK. Android finds the 4th, and Shazam around the CT flank will pick up the final kill to put compLexity 2nd up on the board.
Vitality probably kicking themselves here because they had so many players on the bomb site. ZywOo lands the first duel straight up, but can't really find the position with the AWP. Will allow Ye to get 2 frags and take the bomb site and win the duels that came straight after. Not the way they wanted to play that one out. Pause being taken. NBK and Apex talking things over.
It's much like Ghost, we're going to see more active pauses coming in from Vitality. Even smaller issues, just these small little bumps of 2 to 3 rounds where they're not able to find sufficient impact, when they're immediately going to call for a pause now in order to correct these things instead of waiting until later on in the match to do so, like we often see a lot of teams do. This could be a bad sign too, though, as this could also mean that Vitality's kind of already running out of ideas to stop this, but we'll assume that's not the case for now.
I hardly thought that they're running out of ideas on the CT side. That would be really strange. And there we go. Push down towards long. And because it's not that big of a presence towards to the beginning like they did last round, they're able to take a gun away. Not going to bring it to themselves because it's so far away, but just taking it out of the economy on the T side. It's the first goal, moloing the box. No one's behind that. And Def can just hold the CT for now. Oh, nice one from ZywOo.
Lines right up for him as well. That's the bomb gone down right at his feet. The rest of the compLexity gonna have to move in and try and stop this. ZywOo going into the flames to find cover behind it and ends up losing half of his HP in the process. compLexity tried their best to hold on, but they are being pitched on by Vitality right now. It's a great hold from them, but compLexity battle out of it. Trading out the kills brings it down to just Apex sitting on the A catwalk here. And I think, oh, they didn't see. No, it looks like they're avoiding him over there. So either just barely saw him when they peeked previously or had an inkling. But regardless, Apex knows he's been found out, so he's going to quickly try to rush over towards the B-bomb site. I'm in a good position to find some impact, but no. Smoke at the door will deny any attempt to immediately pick up a headshot. He's being watched for as he goes in by Android, and that'll lead to his elimination, putting a third on the board now for compLexity.
Still nice they get 3 kills to deny the economy of the growing T side. In a low investment round like that, that's exactly what you want out of your T Eagles. Actually, Saiwu all round long. 3 Desert Eagle frags. That's the kind of a difference that he can bring to a team. And here goes to buy Apex with the AWP this time around. As Saiwu will be left on the M4. As he is playing aggressive towards long to begin with. Happy with an AUG in middle. They're going to walk straight out. He has the perfect position. The flashbang timing is not... Actually, that's the smoke timing. It's not good enough. He's just going to hold the angle for now. And Def on the other side of this. They're so close to each other. Another one for Happy. That's kind of awkward.
Gets the kill anyway, though. And now only a few more players for compLexity are even really going to be able to consider pushing mid, as they still need the 2 main players to push into the tunnels. That's all that's left now between Android and Shazam. They'll have to work their way out. There's a 2-man set, or excuse me, nope, just 1 player sitting over here behind Car, as NBK is going to be holding this position, but he's immediately dispatched by Android. So at minimum, they get into the site. Could potentially get a plan off of this too with good utility, and there we go. There's the molly directly inside of window. They should be able to force the issue with a plan. Oh, nicely done. Saiwu's caught jumping by Shazam just on top of that smoke, so another one goes down, and there may be hope yet for compLexity in this round.
Molotov unhappy. That's the only piece of utility. They don't have a flash timer to go in. It's going to be going into window. That's only 2 avenues to attack, but Apex finds one. Another one from Android. RPK will end up winning it. AK picked up, and 5-3 will be the scoreboard result.
So Vitality do battle it back, just barely, but at the end it's RPK that comes out on top of the 1v1. Credit to Android there, though, in the 1v3. Was very proactive with his aiming and nearly was able to close that out. Just, again, kind of got timing at the end of it because he had to check 3 different angles at once, so not much hope for him to close that out anyway. But what he did, he closed down on 2 out of 3 of them. Nearly had enough time to be able to catch RPK in the tunnel as well.
Round number 9 about to roll on in. UMPs on both sides. Both teams opting to get as much utility as they can. Lots of Molotovs on the T side and missing a bit on the CT side because well, only 1 player surviving and they have to rebuild the whole thing. Only 1 kid as well on NBK. It's not the best of chances for Vitality. String 2 together here.
Similarly to some of the past rounds, slow start for compLexity here, and a very conjoined start as well. 4-man stack in mid this early on. Usually you've got at least one of these guys split off towards the lower tons or even the upper tons to watch for exactly what Vitality's doing right now, which is moving Saiwu and NBK into the top there. They've got great intel. They know nothing's coming from there, which means the A players need to get ready because they have to know something is coming their way relatively soon. Oh. Ooh, NBK's got the spot on the catwalk push too. Apex doesn't even want to challenge it. He's going to sit back by Goose. The problem is they're going to wrap around him in a second. I don't think he has the support from Long that he needs. It may not matter though. He's done the impact that he needs to, picking up 2 kills in the process, one of them being claimed by NBK in fact. But the trades from compLexity are strong. Vitality are really going to have to fight to stay into this. This has now been brought down to a 2. Now 1 versus 2. It's Depth from the side of compLexity that must clutch, as they're put into a bad spot again in post-plant. But there's a good start from Def. Nearly gets picked up by Happy, though, due to an overpeak. He's going to go back for now. Happy on top and closes out on him, too, to give compLexity yet another round, and it's all for Def.
Very nicely done by the resident Englishman. Over on the side of Rory Jackson. Def, of course, coming over from the UK into this compLexity lineup and doing so well in this last year. Actually, he's been there for a little bit longer than a year, but has been doing fine.
What is it, like almost late 2016?
Yeah, I think it's almost 2 years.
Yeah, when he joined, so.
He's been hanging around. Had Surreal in that lineup for a while as well, also from the UK. But
yep.
Oh, okay.
So nice.
NBK straight through the wall.
It's gotta feel super satisfying because he actually saw him too, so.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, that connected. Well, regardless, that'll give Vitality a little bit of an edge to play off of here at the beginning of the round. Problem is they've still taken a lot of chip damage from other sources here, and at the end of the day, they're still just working with 2 scouts, a few deagles, and a CZ, so they've got to really work to hold this together. As Stan is immediately turning things back around for compLexity. 2 kills on his own regard. And Def recently picking one up for himself too. Happy just trying to work with a scout, and Apex channeling us back to 2016 for a moment there as he tries to do some jump scouting, but won't work out this time. Stan will pick up one of the last kills, and Android will find the final frag to score round number 5 for compLexity.
And so far, the difference between these two teams, for me, as it's a tied game, is that when compLexity win rounds, it's very safe. They know exactly what's going on. They have the full control over the whole situation. When Vitality win rounds, it's based on individual actions. It's not as safe. It comes down to clutch scenarios where one of the players will step up. And that's a really good sign for compLexity going further into this game, because you can't really count on players stepping up every single time. That's at least how the logic goes. But then Vitality, not really a logical team with so many star players and so much potential. But so far, I would say it's a good showing for compLexity.
Certainly so. The start of this round, however, will give compLexity a massive advantage due to the full save from Vitality. It is just quite literally default pistols, I think, across the board. And nice shot from Android. Quickly takes out NBK. He also had the only piece of utility for Vitality, so that's now gone. And the B site, as a result, is now wide open for the taking.
Just gonna waltz into the B bomb site, get that bomb down. Just make sure that no weapons are lost. That's basically the accomplishment they want out of this round. Just grow that economy, get the bomb down, get a safe round, and get that lead going.
Minimal deaths. That's the thing they're looking for here.
Exactly.
And they're probably going to end up with a pretty good track record when it comes to that. Shazam has got the flank covered back out here in the courtyard. Already popping off Apex there. Maybe has a chance for a second one too. Oh, never mind. RPK just deletes Shazam from T-spawn, is now going to run over there and try and pick up the op. Obviously, Stanislaw is aware of this, so he's going to put a stop to it. And in the meanwhile, ZywOo sneaks up from on top of Cat, needs a double kill with the USP, destroying that saved economy that compLexity was hoping to have after this round.
Yeah. And now ZywOo is going to be able to bring an AK into the next round, his favorite weapon in the entire game. And only 2 players surviving on the T side. This is abysmal compared to what basically when the plan went down, what happened. And one thing to note as well, like people are saying, okay, ZywOo is an AWP player. Actually, ZywOo, just like Device back in the day, was a rifle player to begin with, extremely solid with the AK, and then switched over because his team needed him to step up with the AWP. That means that ZywOo can play with the AK, he can play with the M4 just as well as any other player on this Vitality squad. And don't underestimate his skill as a rifle player just because he's so good with the AWP also.
Vitality are kind of going to rush towards long, but so does compLexity. So we've got a big battle brewing here now, and it's going to start off with a kill from Ye. He picks up Apex. Beyond that, nothing else found just yet. Stanislaw follows it through as compLexity again continue to impress us when it comes to their entry capability here. RPK finds his own trade. Stan has taken full control of the site in the meantime, and there is not really any chance for NBK or Happy to successfully rotate in and retake on a 2v4 now, considering they're starting from quite literally the opposite side of the map. This is a done and dusted round in my eyes, and it'll be 7-5 in the next couple of seconds here.
No reason for either NBK or Happy to go in and risk losing a weapon. Just hold your ground. Bring that weapon into the next round. And also now with that one frag coming in towards CT from Happy, the T side, they can't really afford to go in and chase. Because yes, they can easily rebuy, but with only 3 players, you want to make that economy grow. The second that you only survive with 2, you're actually spending more money than you're getting into that next round. So 3 is the magic number, and that's where they want to stay.
And you can thank ZywOo for that, primarily. It's going to be Vitality that'll keep both of those saved players alive, as you mentioned, due to the fact that compLexity don't want to hunt them down. But still, compLexity continues to take round after round here, currently on a 4-round streak, looking to build up that lead ever more so over Vitality as we enter the last 3 rounds of the half.
Timeout being taken. Not exactly sure who took it. And one thing we have to worry about as well, even though that, yes, we only have 4 maps of statistics, is that the good guys from Vitality, yes, they're behind here in this first half, but they have a really, really sick secondary half to come up on the T side. On these last 4 games that they've had, they won 60% of their rounds on T sides. So we know they definitely have something up their sleeve.
Let's see if that's going to be showing up for them in a few rounds. For now, it's still about the T side and their capability at whole. And unfortunately for them on this round, they're not able to buy up anything else behind the 2 saved weapons. So it's just going to be a couple of upgraded pistols, and even bigger problem, one of those saved weapons gets dropped right from the start of the round due to an adventurous push on Cat there. NBK's found out, taken down. Apex tries to take an attempt to hold the mid door to make up for that, but he's also pushed back due to a molly.
Such a risky push. High risk, high reward for NBK in that situation. And almost got lucky that Def didn't peek the angle. But in the end, for the secondary try, he gets it. Now taking short control team, it has been established. Shazam just holding Happy's angle. If he wants to step out, he's going to be taken care of. And the rest of the T-side team are probably going to gear up for an A-side take. Could potentially see the CT drop smokes as well. No AWP on the side of Vitality, so no real reason to do the car smoke either. Saiwu will pick one up on long. That had to be the flank, but now the push comes in towards the side.
Rest of compLexity working their way up. They're going to move on to the A-bomb site here. Apex, again, trying to delay things for as long as humanly possible. Moves in just as compLexity were lulled into a false sense of security, but is not able to find anything. It's Saiwu instead that's going to pick up the impact along with Happy now. Apex falls, but seems like we can still a Vitality fight. Problem is they're still dropping players left and right here as well. Saiwu, the most recent to be eliminated, followed up by Jet, picking up a frag on Happy. It's just RPK locked into a poor position, where compLexity will take him out with 2 still standing and win the round.
Got to be pretty happy about that. Good guys over compLexity. It got sketchy thanks to Saiwu and his individual skill, but managed to put a lid on it anyways. And that's one thing that's also going to give you confidence when you know there's a star player on the other side and all of a sudden he gets something going, but you manage to shut him down before it becomes a big problem. And now with money being as it is, it's not going to be a problem for compLexity to throw away weapons here and there as long as they get the rounds. Saiwu has the AWP now on long.
For the most part, Vitality also going to be completely falling away from their positions that they established at long, including Saiwu, who is going to stand in a more aggressive position, waiting for that peak to come in. Just a little bit too early on checking that angle, and the problem is now he's moved away from it. No longer has that same position to hold. He's instead watching out for a catwalk push, but he'll still be able to shut it down just as well. Finds the pickup on to Stanislaw as the rest of compLexity continue to hold and wait for their own opportunity to frag out here.
He's so quick to just change positions depending on where he feels like he has the biggest advantage. Such a good reader of the game. Saiwu now will divert his attention back towards long. Not landing that one. Shazam has his number. Now it's RPK on the side.
Deflo, take a look at this. He's got a pretty massive counterflight coming back in over on Catwalk. Apex 2 trying to make work happen, but unfortunately falling after only 1 pickup. It's Happy now watching for additional pressure to work. Twin gets the Kelly kill though, jumps up and then follows it up with a second one. We're down to only Shazam now on compLexity, and he's got 3 HP, so he's not lasting very long. NBK takes him out, and it's a massive play from Happy to bring Vitality back into that round to win it out.
Happy with the AWP coming into play. Jump shot on the first one. Misses the spray there, but then refocuses and gets it done. 6 rounds down the board for Vitality. As said before, compLexity not in money troubles. Everyone has exactly what they want. A couple of flashbangs could be needed on Ye, but that's how it is. They got the Molotovs, they got the smokes, they have everything they need for an execute.
Plans are going to shift a little bit here now since NBK got wrecked by an AWP at the start. Looks like they're going to play 2 inside of B, where I think the original plan was to have their second player here, which would have been Happy on the AUG, hold out more so and watch for a mid push. So instead, now Apex is doing that from CT. Saiwu tried to go for a fast cat aggressive push, but did get pushed back.
Happy in the midst. Smoke and fire. See if you can bring something to the table. I don't think he saw the cross, but he's wary about it. He knows that it can happen. He locks it down, but NBK will be locked down on the B-bomb site. Now it's up to Happy to just see if he can hold this just for a second until the cavalry arrives and the big flank comes in from T-spawn, but Stanislaw is reading this like a book. He's already in T-spawn to counter this lurk. He hears the footstep. RPK is dead.
Got his number. There you go. RPK goes down as well.
Stan.
Oh, they're going to know he's here, though, is the problem. So they open it up for a trade. Happy did end up going down to a molly there as well, though. So we're down to only 1 for Vitality with Shazam's pick, and he follows it up with another one directly afterwards. 9-6 is where compLexity will hold at halftime on the first map of the series.
compLexity looking solid. If they can add a pistol round to that, they'll be looking very nice on their opponent's map pick, that is Dust 2. Shazam here, the man with the op on the complexity side of things.
Kind of a quiet couple of days so far for Shazam.
Yeah, that is true.
Normally-
He's one of those players that, like, he can just show up sometimes. And
Yeah.
he'll go after 2 quiet days, he'll just show up and have like a monster of a game.
He's normally, in more recent times anyway, I feel like he's been slightly more consistent on
Yeah,
land than he usually is within the past, like, I would say like the year or two compared to some of his earlier performances in like 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
So he's definitely made strides. It's just that he's still, when he's not there, he's very quiet is the
Yeah,
problem.
that
So
is
we
true.
need to see him kind of step things up a little bit here for complexity, but overall still doing well across the board. He's managing a consistent performance and finding the impact necessary to deal with Vitality here and hold a 9-6 lead over them as they jump onto their CT side.
Pistol round coming in. Vitality took the first one with a stellar B defense, and it's going to be at least the part of the map that they're going to go for as well on the T side. Shazam with a P2K. Locking one down, but RPK answering straight back. Def also with one onto Apex. So 1-man lead for complexity. Def taking the angle, but running back, playing the system. 2-2 split up. And they know it doesn't matter, like Vitality, they can hit any bomb site now. It's going to be 3-2, yes, but they're going to be 2 players alive. I say that, but RPK just removes Android. That should not be possible. And now Def is alone on this bomb site. Rotations are coming in towards mid, but there's the lurk player there to grab him. For Vitality, that's going to be happy. Putting on so much pressure, and now they're running into the B side. Shazam has to come up huge here, but NBK with a P2000 or P250. It's going to lock him down. And happy with another one. Nicely done. Vitality 2-0 in pistols.
Yep. So a good start once again from Vitality, and the last time they were able to chain this pretty straightforward into 4 or 5 rounds, I think, before we saw complexity getting onto the board. So we'll see if something similar will happen. Regardless, it'll serve as a great chance for Vitality to quickly get back in, and more than likely either take us to 8-9 or tie us up at 9-9, depending on how complexity play the economy in these first couple of rounds. Very light buy for the second, so they are more than likely going to go for their first buy on the third instead of the fourth because of the new economy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's usually how we do it. So no surprises here. Vitality playing the anti-eco, walking into B. Mac 10 first. Clearing all the angles, knowing that if they get the bomb down against pistols, retake B, that's not going to happen. At this point, well, they do die 2 here towards short, and then that point is moot. But usually what you want to do in this situation, when you know they have the B site, and they have SMGs and they're hunting, just run away. Don't let them get those kills. Don't let them get that extra free money, especially on the Mac 10. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little too late when they're just pushing you, and you're just caught in the middle, quite literally.
Well, Happy does some good work, at least with the MP5 there. Some very accurate spray coming out from him. I think that's more credit to the gun, to be fair. It's a pretty accurate gun, in my opinion.
It's a weird one. I'm still not getting used to it.
No, yeah, I'm still on the fence about what's good and bad about it, to be honest. But it's going to be Vitality throwing their weight at the B-bomb site to start this round off. It does not go well for Vitality at all. Complexity are shutting it down right now. In fact, Vitality only have 1 single player left. We're only 20 to 30 seconds into the round. Happy's going to try to clutch this out 1v4. He's picked up the first kill, but he still has a long, long way to go. Good news, he at least has site control, so there's the starting point to work off of.
Vitality just trying to change the pace of the game and go for a quick B push. Doesn't work out here. Complexity will take the round and survive with 3 players. Very nice for the economy and tying the game up. And Vitality will have to write that down and say, okay, straight B push, not working. Don't do that again.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be able to try that anytime soon, that's for sure, with how poorly things went there. We're able to trade at minimum. They accomplished that at the very least, but unfortunately, never even really came close to getting a plan, let alone actually clutching out that round. It was just left down into a very desperate 1 versus 3. Shazam on point, ready to pick up frags at the start of this next round as he finds Apex rushing through the doors, but ZywOo also there for a trade. Interestingly, Shazam also hits ZywOo, but it was a leg, only bringing him down to 17 HP. So he survives it. Android is now going to step up for the plate for complexity here. With 1.5 kills as he gets the assist on RPK.
Really nice round once again by Complexity, shutting down Vitality when they try and change the pace and go for control. Complexity just steps straight back out at him and says, okay, yeah, you can do whatever you want, we're going to counter you. Good team play has been the recipe for success for compLexity in this last year. And this match in this tournament is nothing different. Android will take the final frag, and now 11 rounds. It's getting dangerously close for compLexity. 4 rounds more, and we'll be on 15, and overtime will be secured, which is the first stepping stone.
And for Vitality, unfortunately, at least these last 2 rounds, it does seem like they've run out of steam here a little bit.
Yeah, the T side is not impressive, at least in this game. And I'm not sure if it's compLexity basically reading up on these 4 games that they've played so far on the map, or if it's just not Vitality hitting their shots. I think it's kind of like a mix of both, because compLexity, they seem to have the correct answers, but also in the straight 1v1s, Vitality, apart from Saiwu, and maybe Happy to some extent, they're just not winning the duels and not hitting the shots as crisp as they usually do.
We're going to have Vitality, unfortunately, with primarily just Glocks. They've got 1 P250 on Apex, but that is it. They are going to try to push themselves into mid with 1 player. The rest are going to burst up on Catwalk. Without a utility, this is not going to go that well, more than likely. Smoke actually kind of helps them a little bit, gives them a small window to push through. That's the op shots they're missing. They breach through, they've spread out now. They're going to be harder to deal with. But thankfully, compLexity deals with them anyway. Brings RPK down incredibly low. I think just random spam there, and manages to take him out with 1 final shot from Shazam. That's round 12 now for compLexity as they continue to dominate rounds like these.
And still, like, surviving with 4 players, everything seems to be going really, really well for compLexity so far. Everything is clicking. People are hitting shots. Strats are going well, even in anti-ecos that sometimes can be a bit dangerous because you're not as focused. They're still laser focused. Everyone is on point. Rainbow, the coach behind him, making sure that that's the team culture. Even though the rounds aren't that important, you still got to keep up. You still got to make sure that you bring that W home.
All right, now for Vitality here. Let's see, as they've opened things up with a big split across the map, just playing into a default. Trying to spread out the map and see if they can catch any mistakes from compLexity. They might get one in a second here. Def pushing in, but no, he gets the better of NBK. They even had backup ready to go in the event that he fell to NBK there to make it a 1-for-1 exchange. So well planned out once again from compLexity as they do end up taking control of those B halls, though it's unknown to them. Rest of Vitality, just gonna go back to Cat. Seems to be the go-to here for them so far.
So much utility. I'm expecting a little bit more than what I've seen so far. No CT drop smokes, no long smoke towards the car. They're just going to go straight in for the duel, which, well, when you can hit shots like that, it's fair enough, but it just seems like they're not giving themselves all the tools they need in order to make the duels easier. They're taking the hard duels all the time without getting help from the utility they have, and now Stanislaw able to just rotate straight. It does so much damage. Fire is being taken out as well, and that's going to be the round.
Yeah, that's it.
3 players surviving, and Vitality, it kind of feels like they're tripping over their own legs at this point. Like,
Stanislaw kills them so quickly, I don't even think he realizes that they were all dead. Because
No.
after he got that second kill, you can see he goes back inside of elevator there and is just like looking around for like 2 to 3 seconds, like, wait, where's the next one?
yeah.
So he makes a really quick cleanup there. And that's some good stuff from him. He's been showing up throughout this event as well. And in general, I think even past this event, we've been seeing some good stuff from Stanislaw across the board.
Yeah, I would agree. Once again, like one of those fragging in-game leaders, the same can be said for Astralis and Glaive. It's so important to have an in-game leader who can control the team in conjunction with a coach, but also you can place him in every basically 1v1 duel on the map and still have confidence in the fact that he can win that. And Stan is the exact same thing here. Like, I'm sure compLexity has confidence in it. Doesn't matter if he's up against Saiwu or RPK. They believe he can win that duel 1v1.
So Vitality's one of their last pauses comes to a conclusion here. And for compLexity, a chance to push really beyond the point where Vitality would be able to come back is going to surface potentially in this round. This could be it right here. Looking at Vitality's investment, they've gone all in. And even so, still have a few downgrades when you look at Apex having to go for a Galil and the general lack of utility on players like NBK, Zayu, and RPK. compLexity, if they can shut this down, they're going to leave Vitality with nothing, and we'll have a great chance after getting past the next Eco and/or Force Buy round from Vitality to push this straight up to 16.
And this is the key round, right? If Vitality can't bring this one home, I think this game's over. And to be honest, I have to say I'm equally impressed and kind of dissatisfied with both complexity and vitality. Complexity very impressed with the way that they've, like, this is not a map that they're usually very good on. Their stats are not that good. Vitality looking way worse than what they usually do on here. So here comes the push. Sam Radiant waiting with the AWP. The second they pass the smoke, he's going to be there.
See if Shazam can get anything, though. Remember, these usually split off a little bit, and we see the T's try to jump down and play into that angle, too. The flash out, though, completely blinds Shazam. A second one also afflicts him. Def is here to assist from mid. That's not going to affect the situation Shazam is dealing with at all. It's got to be Ye from way back in pit that finds the impact instead. He might as well have picked up the op with the way he's sniping players out on the M4 currently. Brings Vitality down to just 2. Now this enters a 4v2 retake situation. Never mind. 4v3 as ZywOo takes Ye's head off his body real quick. Apex also sitting at the ready to stop this push. And there we go. Another kill from him. Drops in to finish off. Another one as Death falls. And Stanislaw doesn't even stand a chance as ZywOo picks him. Vitality stay in this fight with their 9th round being claimed.
Super key round here to win for Vitality. ZywOo coming in and locking down that great position. Like, Ye was doing a hell of a good job in that position down towards long. Picking frags up with the M4 long range, as you said, but the position there, it's a really big gamble position by Apex. I think that was him with the killer there. Basically, if the short guy comes and pushes aggressively, he's completely dead. There's no way that he can win that duel when he's looking the other way. So he has to kind of like hope that the CT guy pushes him first. He gets that free frag, then he drops down. Luckily for him, the second guy is so low on HP, so he's going to win that as well. If the timing had been different, he would have been dead straight away without any kills. And now Ye towards long, somehow, some way pulls the knife out.
Great to pick up not only the follow-up kill on RPK, but the final kill against Apex, stopping Vitality in their tracks for the most part here. They're down to just 2 more players who don't have any map control, really. Just stuck in mid currently. NBK is looking to get some of that back. But if they try to split this mid to B, yeah, probably not even going to get to that point, to be fair. But if they try to split this mid to B, yeah, Def's going to be waiting up on top of the rafters. 9 times out of 10, that's guaranteed at least 1 free kill if that doesn't get checked.
At this point, ZywOo will have to check everything anyway, because he's in a 1v5.
Yeah.
But has so many angles from here on out, and now he'll have to scope in as well. So if he just scopes in anywhere near here, Def is just going to hit him. He sees him. There it is. And this is rough because now Vitality, yes, they took that 1 round, but they needed to string some together in order to just get some momentum, get some economy going, and now they're just straight back where they started.
Very much the case. And it's, again, credit mainly to Shazam, and Ye, who was holding in the pit, who got the 1 pick up there, too. They hold off that major push towards long, and it just kills the late-game plans there for Vitality. As I think it was to take long control, use the other 2 players in mid to get cat control, and then kind of just squeeze on the A site from that point forward. But Shazam holds them off, and the 2 other players in mid are not really left with enough options to try and work that round forward, considering how successful the hold was from complexity. So Vitality will use their last pause, as they are quite literally out of options here.
Really impressed with complexity so far, I have to say. They've been playing a solid game of CS so far, really been able to neutralize some of the Vitality players.
Yeah, I thought, like, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I thought the raw skill from Vitality was going to be enough to beat complexity on Dust 2. Because I think that's a map where you can win the map on raw skill alone, but that hasn't been the case. And I don't know if this is Vitality not showing up or complexity just denying these players so often that they're not able to even get onto the board most of the time.
It's a mix of both, in my opinion, because, like, definitely don't take anything away from complexity. They're playing a really good game, and they're playing almost up to their maximum of individual, like, skill level. But Vitality are also 10 to 15% off, I would say, right now, which is unfortunate, because I still think, to be honest, even if they were on 100%, this would have been a really close game as well, and complexity probably would be able to win it anyway with the way that they're playing, because it's just so good from them.
Asteroid, we can see spraying everywhere with the body he needs to shoot, it would seem. He did some damage at the very minimum, and now someone else has finished off the job. It's going to be left to Apex and CT. Not much hope for him, and with that round, complexity, push it up to 15. 1 more round away from closing out this first map and getting the 1-0 series advantage.
That's what they want. They want all those free chances to make it to the grand final, take the map choice of your opposition, and then go on to your map choice afterwards with the chance of 2-0ing. Desert Eagles, Scouts, and C-Set. Shazam doing damage straight to ZywOo.
A good amount of it too. Brings him down to 25 HP. Rest of Vitality grouping up in mid, but oh, ZywOo gets his revenge real quick. Just walks out mid-door and says bye-bye to death.
Now they actually have a really good setup for a beast, but it's only Android on this B side. But then again, saying only Android, you have to add the quotation marks because he can actually hold this. Luckily for Vitality, he only has an auto shotgun right now. If he had an M4, it could have been different, but he also has a Desert Eagle, so watch out for that. And let's see that shotgun come into play now. Molotov will do some damage.
No,
Taking the
not
duel,
that
but
range.
no, not on that medium range. I have to be closer.
Apex will finish off the job, close out the site. We enter a 3v4 post-plant with Vitality, of course, in the advantage position. Stanislaw already up to the gates, and in a second, Shazam's going to be joining him. It's really reliant on Ye, though. If he goes down to Happy right here, the other two probably not even going to attempt the retake. But let's see, Stanislaw's at least poking in. They're looking for one kill they can use to justify just moving for this retake, but nothing really being found by them. A bit of chip damage against NBK, but he's the one who finishes him off anyway, and then Happy completes the rotation out through the lower tunnels and finishes off the last man standing from compLexity.
Vitality now, I need 5 rounds in a row to bring this to OT. And I know there is no room for mistakes. Need to be perfect from here on out.
Not impossible by any sense, though, for Vitality. Can certainly be done, especially if they can win out this round entirely, denying any saves and denying, more importantly, any more forced rebuys from compLexity going into the next round. They would be on a full eco. That's just one more free round going on the counter there for Vitality. A good start for them, too. The aggression at long doors kind of knocks Ye out of the game as he's brought down to 19 HP.
Still decent utility on the T side remaining, and compared to what compLexity have, it's not looking good for the mixed North American squad. 1 flashbang and 1 Molotov, and then there's the decoy, but that doesn't really matter, let's be real. Double up setup. That is the investment, and that is the choice, going for firepower instead of utility. Let's see if it pays off. For now, it's a triple stack towards B, and 2 players on the CT side very far down towards long. They're counting on Ye to get 1-for-1 and time, or just the 2-for-1. Because Shazam has to watch both angles. Like, if they push on towards the stage, like, they have to throw down the car smoke. They missed it for a couple of times now, but lucky flash timing there. Apex fully blind. Will get the frag onto Ye, and now Shazam has to hold both angles. AWP in hand. Will find the first one, but not the second. Nice refrag.
It's a double push, and thankfully for Vitality, they don't end up lining up on the timing there. Shazam only claims 1. The remaining 3 on compLexity, once again, don't have position to retake, let alone even escape, it seems now, as Apex has also been able to clip off Stanislaw. It's just Android and Def that'll run away this time, and Vitality will claim yet another round. Def is going to hold the line, at least prevent NBK from chasing them down in mid. It's a small gesture, however. Vitality, at the moment, don't really need to care too much for their economy. It's a very different story for compLexity.
Curious what they're going to do here. With a saved M4 and a save it up on Def. Could just go for an aggressive 3-mana flash timing towards long with the pistols, and then stack the other 2 on B side. Let's wait and see what they go for. Apex happy there. 3 kills for him, and solid round for Vitality. Been waiting a while to say that because it hasn't been solid so far for them, but again there, it's the end result that matters. What's the plan here? It's going to be the boost towards short. Def with the op, keep your eyes on him. He's maybe even going to get the secondary boost position.
Stanislaw's actually going to be playing inside of the A, or inside of the B site here too. So if he tries to jump up, there's a good chance he does end up getting picked by the op that currently has a position, and there it is. It's not even Stanislaw, it's Android actually that'll end up peeking the doorway there, getting taken down, but Stanislaw's not going to too much of a fight either because he got lit up by the op before, and he's only got a USP. Happy will find 2 other lurkers, but unfortunately gets destroyed by one of them out in mid here, as Def with the op in hand will be able to pick him up. Ye now finds a free AK, and again, 2v4. Looking like a similar story here. compLexity just not much of a choice once more. They have to fall back, and they're going to have to save towards the long.
Next round is going to be super important between these two. Going to be the buy from compLexity. Yes, they will have some money to spare, so if they lose it, they can go for Deagles and then buy the next one. But one thing that you cannot let Vitality do, and I've experienced this myself, coaching against them, you can never allow them just to get any form of momentum, because the second they get that 3 to 4 round momentum and they feel like everything's possible, with Saiwu on the team specifically, they're just going to crush you. And most of the time, they don't care who's on the other end of that scope. It doesn't matter if it's like a team ranked 75 in the world, or a team that's ranked 30th, or the team that's ranked 1, they don't care. Because when they're on that level, they just go straight through you.
It is looking like some troubles have surfaced, though, for compLexity on these rounds. So I believe they might have called for pause. That or I just heard a random chat tick, which, no, I was right. There we go. compLexity do use their first pause, actually, in this game.
Yeah, to be honest, like, it has been pretty smooth sailing for a long while, and now they're seeing troubles for the first time. Rambo, the coach, and Stanislaw gonna have some fixes to implement. Maybe just taking a breather as well. One thing to note as well about the compLexity camp is the coaching staff that they had. Not only Rambo, of course, a legend from the old compLexity days, but also Warden, the manager of the team, also a legend. So they have this plethora of Counter-Strike experience behind this team. Not only 5 players, but also technically 2 coaches and everyone else in the organization. It's such an interesting franchise to follow.
An aggressive push this time from compLexity. They don't have the capability to buy just yet, but what they do have are those saved weapons and a couple CZs. So they're going to use that leverage in order to get through the mid door and pick up an early kill on Apex, which will allow them to then, of course, fall back and hold their normal spots with a 5v4 advantage. That's the key. Vitality no longer have real good initiation rights on any of these sites. And their odds have gone down across the board overall here. It's because they still have to deal with those guns. They still have to play it like it's a gun round on contact. They just don't have a way of knowing where those 3 pistols are going to end up being positioned.
So we're going to start moving forward. Get short control. No one wants to challenge from mid. MBK on the other end of the map, making noise. Classic bait smoke out. Can be dangerous because you can throw that down and all of a sudden be so far out of the tunnel, but usually it is only used, or usually it's used for bait, as you want to make at least 1 player, preferably 2, stay close to that B bomb site. But it's going to be the A hit. CT drop smoke, or just in general advancement smoke. Rolls off onto the side. One player is going to be completely caught, but Ye gets one. Shazam has perspective, still a player in that position, but it's going to be Shazam taken out. 1v3.
And now it's down to only 1 here. Happy trying to hold it together single-handedly, looking to bring things back, but no, he's cut off by Android. And that is how compLexity will close out the first map of the series. 16-12, I do believe, is the final score. And with that, they will hold the series advantage. 1 more map, and it'll be heading to Train, potentially will allow for them to push forward into the grand finals, where Luminosity now awaits them.
Very impressed by compLexity in this matchup. Even though that they came into troubles at the end, they took that timeout, got everything under control. So Sam got out with a deagle and just took 2 guys straight out. And you just see them like winning individual duels against some of these players that, if you go a year back, saying Shazam would be winning deagle duels against fully bought up players such as Apex, like, I wouldn't believe you, but like today it makes sense.
Yeah,
really nicely done by compLexity.
All right, guys, and that second map is coming up in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us, and we'll be right back with more action here at the semifinals of the DreamHack Open Atlanta.